Talk about solving inequalities algebraically. So we have our first example here. We have the x squared minus 5x minus 50 is less than 0. To begin solving this, you set it equal to 0. So you're going to find your roots, or your zeros, or your x-intercepts, or your solutions. So that's all I did right there. I just set it equal to 0. Then you factor your quadratic. So factors of 50 that are multiplied give you negative 50, and when added give you negative 5, are x plus 5 and x minus 10. Now we also know that we set each factor equal to 0 to solve. So in doing so, you can see that you have x is negative 5 and x equals 10. Now the thing you need to remember is we're going to look at that inequality. We're going to plug that back into our original inequality. We can draw a number line and we know that what we see is true, but your final answer, what area is shaded? The numbers in between negative 5 and 10. So your final answer is going to look like this. Negative 5 is less than x is less than 10. And how do you know that one of those numbers between negative 5 and 10 will work? Well, you can actually check it here with Desmos. Well, what's a number less than negative 5? 13. Well, that's outside. That doesn't work. What's in between negative 5 and 10? 0. So we can see that that is true. So your final answer, negative 5 less than x is less than 10. I'm going to do one more here with you. So let's try another one. I'm going to get one that has a greater than symbol because it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, so yeah, let's look at this one. Okay, so here's my inequality. X squared minus 2x minus 80 is greater than 0. So first you're going to do the same thing. You're going to set it equal to 0 and factor your quadratic. So factoring the quadratic, x plus 8, x minus 10. Factors that multiply to negative 80 and add to negative 2 are there. So then you set each factor equal to 0, just like you did in the past. So setting each factor equal to 0 and solving for x. So you get x is negative 8 and x is equal to 10. Now, be careful when you're doing this. Okay, so we're plugging that original equation. So we know x is, because of this greater than, there's no equal. We have an open dot at negative 8 and an open dot at 10. But notice your lines. This is what happens when you have a greater than symbol, when you have an inequality and then a greater than, and then this number over here. You are going to have two different answers, because looking at your number line, this is what it's saying, that your negative 8 has to be less than 0 and 10 has to be greater than. So your final answer looks like this, which is really weird, but if you check your answers you'll see. So x is greater than negative 8 because that's my number line. I can put a problem, I can check an answer smaller than negative 8, and that's in the green area. I can check a number greater than 10, and that's in the green area. So that's why your final answer, you have two. X is less than negative 8 or x is greater than 10. To try to explain this a little bit more and give you a heads up, when you have a greater than, you can either rewrite the problem, but it's easier just to remember if I have a greater than, more than likely I'm going to have two different answers separated by an or. So that is graphing inequalities.